What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drums Nation. What is up, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? How are we all doing today? Well, I have some guests. First up is my guy, 3Dubs. Say what's up. 3Dubs.
Hey, sup? Hey, everyone.
And
I got a new mic.
You got a new mic. Yeah, sounds way better than last week. And also I have a surprise guest. I have a surprise guest.
What's up?
We have the after party himself, DJ Eric.
I'm having some technical issues, so I may be bouncing a bit for a few minutes and then until I get things settled away here.
Okay.
But I'm here.
But so I'm pretty sure everybody has seen that CW article.
Yes.
Got me. I was already thinking about the CW stuff today, and like how we're all fans of these shows, and we all hate how everything is going down, how they have been handling it this year, and got me to thinking, if the pandemic never happened, in a perfect world, pandemic never happened, if Arrow had ended differently. We all know that nobody stays on a show forever, but when Arrow ended, I felt like that was the, how can I say, beginning of the end, because of how things started happening with like the spinoffs not getting picked up. That just started a downward spiral for some people, myself included. Mm-hmm. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, like we saw that they didn't pick up the Green Arrow and Canaries, and that was like the first sign that there was something going on. So
it's like it got me thinking, if none of that happened, if they did pick up these shows, how would the Arrowverse be like right now? If Stargirl wasn't on a separate Earth, cool. But if it was, in the perfect world, I would have written Crisis differently. I know the whole point of Crisis is to put everything on the same Earth. I get that. I completely get that. But even in the comics, they jump back to the multiverse eventually. And I get that some of the TV shows are trying to do that, but they're keeping them completely separate. And it's just by the circumstances of what's actually happening with the network, the uncertainty of everything. But like I've always envisioned, right after Crisis, yes, Cisco and Barry figure out some way to get back and forth to these other Earths. I honestly think if they were going to do this all along, it could have been planned better. It's no way in the world that they think that the Superman and Lois thing, Naomi being separate, Stargirl being on a separate Earth, and nobody trying to figure out how to mesh these three different universes together. It's no way that they think this is actually a good idea. It's like you already had Black Lightning on a separate Earth. You already had Supergirl on another Earth. Supergirl, they figured out how to do it. They could honestly do the same thing with Stargirl, and it could kind of give you the same energy. What do you guys think?
DJ?
He's handling something.
No, I'm good. Oh, okay. Okay, so this might be controversial as usual coming from me, but looking back at it, I actually think it was better when Black Lightning and Supergirl were on other Earths and they just crossed over for events, because then you don't have so many questions about why doesn't Black Lightning show up for this event? Why doesn't the Flash go help Supergirl? Like, all of those questions started after the Crisis event happened, and people started expecting so much from the writers. And the thing is, the technology existed to cross over from one Earth to another. So there was no real reason to combine them together unless you had a big plan, like for the next big thing. Like, we need them all to be on the same Earth because the next big event is going to require them to be on the same Earth. Which we know COVID happened and maybe that changed it, but that's giving them a lot of credit for thinking really far ahead. And I don't know if they thought that far ahead, but I do believe that the idea of putting everything on the same Earth was a good concept if they had a payoff for it. But the payoff was literally the two shows that benefited the most from Crisis were gone the very next season. We lost Black Lightning, we lost Supergirl, and they were the two shows that everybody was waiting to merge with Earth Prime. So yeah, it was kind of weird. I truly believe that was also another, like, we're talking about like the steps in the wrong direction. I think Crisis was a good idea with no payoff planned out. And so, the other show suffered.
What do you think, Three Dubs?
I always thought that if there would have to be something big for the Flash to venture out of his own Earth Prime, like a major multiverse crisis, to be like, hey, I need some help. So, and we don't have a lot of heroes here. So I would think there would have to be a some sort of story that started in the other side, not per se in Earth Prime. There would have to be a breach from the other Earths to come over to his Earth, because they would need more help than he would, because he's like super powerful. So, yeah, it would have to be Stargirl looking for help for her to come over.
I get that, and even if it was completely by accident, like when
Like
thinking about Armageddon, I honestly thought Armageddon was gonna be the way to get back to those traditional crossovers, because when it was pitched, everybody thought it was a crossover. When it turned out to just be a Flash graphic novel with glorified cameos.
hmm
So the way I originally envisioned it is, yes, you bring back those characters from different shows. I always thought it was a weird choice for Ryan Choi, but I wanted to see Superman because, well, at the time, no matter what way they put it,
hmm
we thought that um, Superman on Earth Prime was the one that was in Superman and Lois. He was even asked to be in the show, which just makes this whole thing even worse because they didn't tell other showrunners.
Well,
So
the other thing is Ryan Choi wasn't even used for anything. Like, they brought him back to do absolutely nothing. I'm like,
nothing
why?
except be a little whiny brat about love
Well,
and love in the future. Like,
they I think they use Ryan Choi to give like bread to the audience because of the suit. Like he wore it for like 3 seconds. Like, hey, he has a suit.
and that would have been cool if that wasn't a Flash suit stripped down and repainted.
Well, the other thing is they also they didn't have plans for him to go on Legends or anything. Like, it was just like he was there and that was it. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
And then, like, going back to, yes, Kazi, I know Tyler wanted to appear, but his scheduling didn't match up. I get that, but at the same time,
Can you imagine if he would have appeared? Because
would
that would have
made
made
this
things
whole
really
thing
freaking weird.
so weird because he didn't even know. They didn't know anything until they got that little weird script. Everybody was under the impression that this show was on the same exact Earth.
Yeah, they like set it up that way. Like it was kind of, I thought that it was a little weird how they revamped his origin story, but then I thought about it and I was like, well, we saw it from Supergirl's perspective, first, so I thought they were tweaking it a bit.
The truth is that the tease at the end of Crisis where he was talking to Lois and they mentioned, the twins or whatever, the kids,
hmm
that tease, looking back now, was 1000% unnecessary if they had intended to put him on a different Earth, because it made no difference whatsoever.
Exactly.
Like, it made no difference. He could still have the one child on Earth Prime and have two kids on whatever Earth he's on. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. And then my whole thing was like, why are you going to sit up here and say that this was the plan the entire time? it was too many things. And yes, I'm over it now because at the end of the day, that was another sign that things were going to come crumbling down around us. So like I'm over it now. They can do what they want because if I'm being completely honest, I only see um I only see Superman and Lois going at least another two seasons, up to season 5 at most.
You know what else is super weird now that I'm thinking about it?
Mhm.
Like, if Superman and Lois is on a different Earth, and they said they had intended for that, because Todd Helbing was like, "Oh, we knew about this like last season, right?"
Yeah,
Mhm.
If that were the case, and they didn't want to confuse people, why did they bring Diggle onto season 1?
exactly. Why did they
Why?
bring that speech?
Right. It makes no sense because Diggle played no part in that role that couldn't have been done by another character. And it was a literal cameo. Like it was literally just a cameo, meaning that if Diggle, if they did not want us to feel like it was connected to Earth Prime, if they would have left Diggle off, because think about it, all the arguments everybody has is like Diggle showed up in season 1, right? Like that's the big one. If they had left Diggle off of the show, it would make it much easier for people to go, oh, well, maybe it's not. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they had to change his, like, tweak his backstory a little bit so that it's not like he's stealing Earth Prime's version of him, because it's like he works at Argus. His wife is the leader of Argus, and he's wearing the same clothes and attire. So for fans, we think he's the actual Diggle. And then he talks about this box that glowing box, and that's another tie to Earth Prime Diggle. So I'm like, they really were trying to confuse us, and not make us think of one thing when in fact it's another.
What's up, Jeffrey? I let me. Kazi brings up a point. Yeah, Berlanti didn't want Superman and Lois to be in the Arrowverse, but WB and Todd Helbing just kept pushing him until I think after the cancellations of Legends and that he did. Do you mean he did want Superman and Lois in there? Because I think he did.
I think he did too.
If he didn't, I don't think they would have put that. I don't think he would have put that on there. Like put it. I don't think he would have put it in there.
Wayne Grace says something interesting too.
That's
Why
a
would they
good
need an
question.
Argus?
That is a good question.
No, I brought that up after the episode too. I mean, I did say something about that back then. I was like, what is the point of Argus when we don't have superhuman threats?
Is it
Exactly.
just for aliens? AKA Superman.
Wouldn't
And
wouldn't that just be the government then if they're only dealing with Superman? Why
I
would
mean, we
Argus
already have a DOD, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And then that brings me to this. It's so many ways that they have can like messed up this multiverse. I go back to the Crisis episode of Black Lightning. So we do have a Earth Prime Jeff.
mhm.
We did have a Earth 2 version of Black Lightning.
Well,
Where did
the
they
other
not come together and think about that? Like,
yeah, I mean, like that's the thing is that this whole like break off from the Arrowverse is clearly because they knew the writing was on the wall and they didn't want to have to like deal with any of the fallout from like the Flash going away or Legends going away. They're like, we're just going to be our own separate thing. Yeah.
it honestly sucks. And seeing what they want to do with the CW now, basically, literally, like we called it. Like honestly, Eric, me and you were talking about it before, and we were saying, me, you, Eric, and Paigey. I mean, yeah, me, you, and Paigey. We're all saying like this could be a good thing, but that's before we found out who was actually getting it. And even then, we thought, oh, they're a CW affiliate. This might be good for them.
Right.
We were completely wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, we have to take the L on that one. We were this is not good at all.
Well, the only reason I thought it was okay is because it looked like they had a lot of stuff in place for like diverse content. Like
Yeah.
they made it seem like they were looking for like, you know, shows and people to represent a large demographic, like casting the net very wide. But I didn't realize how they were going to handle this from a financial standpoint, which is kind of where all of this goes. Is like, you know, same thing with what's going on with WB Discovery is you can't always account for what somebody's thinking financially. You know.
And speaking of the CGI, I noticed from Superman and Lois that even though it is a TV budget, I've seen that between the comparison between Supergirl and the show is Superman actually tops Supergirl in the amount of the special effects of how he flies.
Oh yeah. The flying on Superman and Lois is
Like
really good.
they just overpowered him.
Yeah. And honestly, they could have. Everybody was saying, "Oh, the differences were too much," but at the same time, they kept telling us it's because this is his show.
Look, if Bebo can exist in the same world as the Flash and Arrow, then the differences don't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mayada says, somebody asked this on Reddit. Yeah, we had this conversation, Maya. It's no indication that these new Earths had memories. For all we know, this Superman and Lois Earth is just like Stargirl's Earth, just like Earth 2. It popped up post-crisis. So they wouldn't have any memories. This is just a new Earth. It's just like Naomi's Earth. We don't know when it popped up. We just know it's post-crisis, so we can't assume anything. What memories would they have? It was still nobody on their Earth.
I still get kind of confused about the whole how do they even know that there's other Earths? Because Diggle just blurted out, you know, he's from another Earth. You and me are going to have a conversation when he's talking to the general about, you know, the multiverse and whatnot. I'm like, how do they even know that?
Okay, Defunct.
Yeah, that's a good point. We even talked about that, I think, in the after party. Is how does the general know about other Earths? Because we're talking about like look at the Earth Prime and the amount of people on Earth Prime who are capable of detecting the multiverse, and then look at Superman and Lois. How did that Earth discover multiversal stuff? Like, how would the general even know that Crisis happened? Because he was a product of Crisis.
Exactly.
Think about that for a second. He says that he saw heroes come together, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The only thing he could have been talking about was Crisis or pre-Crisis. Because we have not had all of the heroes come together since Crisis happened. So how would he know that? He is literally, like you said, Lance, these Earths were spit out by the Spectre after Crisis happened. Which means that their memories and everything would have been from a singular existence. It would have been from being on that one Earth the entire time. They would have no memory of Crisis or of the mergers.
Yeah, and Martian Manhunter wasn't there to just put the memory in their heads.
Yeah.
Andy says, I think there is meant to be some storyline where years ago on Superman and Lois, off screen, of course, discovered slowly, but keeping it a secret from the public that the multiverse is out there.
No. Sorry, Andy. I disagree with that because the thing is the Spectre went through the trouble of trying to block off the multiverse. Like that was the whole point. He didn't want people doing that. So we can't be like, oh, well, even though the Spectre did this, somehow they discovered it pre-Crisis because Crisis had to happen. So I agree. Maybe that's what they're doing. But for me, that's not an excuse. I don't think that's a good excuse.
And then you know what else? The whole thing of not being able to sense the multiverse doesn't exist. And then boom, we find out that it does because, well, Stargirl's on Earth too. The other Earths are still there with like Titans and Doom Patrol. You mean to tell me it's nobody on any other Earth that has Cisco's powers?
Right. There's another vibe out there somewhere.
It's another person that can shoot, that can sense vibrational bursts. It's another person in the multiverse. Like,
well, the other thing is that what Andy's saying here, this is kind of interesting. I could actually believe that if it weren't for the fact that the general was actually shocked when John Henry came from another Earth. Right? Like that was a pretty shocking revelation for them. That there was another Earth with another Kal-El, with another Superman. Those things didn't seem like they were just normal everyday things.
Yeah.
Right? So if the general was privy to all of these other heroes, matter of fact, if he was capable of doing that, why didn't he call on any of those people when all of this stuff happened with Tauro? You know what I mean? Like if you have the ability to access other Earths and see how powerful these people are, and you have agreed that Superman is the most powerful according to him, then why didn't you reach out to like Earth Prime and get their Superman and their Supergirl and say, "Hey, we need some help"?
Exactly.
I
If he
wonder
knew
if they,
about them if he knew about them the entire time.
Well, he said they all came, that he's seen
Yeah.
them come together, so he knows how it functions. He knows how it works.
I've always wondered if it's blocked from seeing Earth Prime as a Earth. Like the General doesn't even know about Earth Prime, but he's seeing all the other versions throughout the multiverse, but Earth Prime because it's blocked
Yep. And
from
then
seeing.
Ragu, yes, this is very true. But
is
even
true.
then, that's convoluted as ever because you basically Martian Manhunter went around to all the main characters and recurring characters and just gave them all their memories back.
This storyline was probably for me the most comic book shit we've ever had on the show in terms of like stuff that doesn't make sense. Because are you telling me that Martian Manhunter somehow stored everyone's memories into his head and was able to give it back to them?
He doesn't have that kind of reach.
Right, because the thing is that we're talking about the Spectre, right? The Spectre is the one that reset everything. Martian Manhunter should not be able to go around and give you a refund on your memories. Like it should not happen. But in comic bookness, it's what happened. And I was willing to believe that he could do it, but then when they started just like randomly people start like there's got to be some people that got memories back where it was like, why? Why did they get their memories back? Because it served the story, because they needed to know in order to have a conversation with somebody else. But other than that, why? Why did they have their memory? What was the point?
Exactly. Because and then even I go back to the backdoor pilot for Green Arrow and the Canaries. That made no sense.
Which messed up part are we talking about?
All of it. Like why are they randomly shot to the future? Mm-hmm. Martian Manhunter went up to Dinah and gave her memory. You didn't even know her,
right?
She wasn't that important of a.
That's what I mean. Like there were characters that didn't matter that were getting their memories back, and I'm like, why?
You just been in the future this entire time.
There is a specific benefit to all of the lead characters having memories of pre-crisis for like future stuff, like things that may happen down the road. There's no benefit from any of supporting characters to have. You know,
maybe that's what I was looking
at. But like so. In my ideal DC universe on the CW, if I would have kept it going, yes, Arrow would have ended, but I would have written Mia to where she wasn't annoying. And I would have given Colton Haynes a bigger role. I know what he was dealing with his own stuff, but if they stopped treating the sidekicks like Arsenal and Speedy and Kid Flash, Nora, Bart, if they stop writing them like they aren't important DC characters, the actors wouldn't mind, stepping up eventually. Because honestly, Arsenal could have stepped up and been that, stepped into that Archer role. And no shade toward Kate McNamara, we wouldn't need to pull her from the future every other episode. We wouldn't need to do that.
Well, the thing about it is if you wanted this character to be from the future and make it feel realistic, then keep her in the future. Like she's a street level character.
She could be a street level character in the future that like even in the Earth Prime comics, you had all those characters in the future. Mia was the Green Arrow of the future. Mm-hmm. What's so hard about just leaving them there? Like I get Bart and Nora coming back. I get that. It makes sense. They're speedsters. They can do that. But Mia just getting teleported in and out randomly.
Doesn't she have a device now? Like,
does she?
Sarah gave her a device to travel back for the funeral.
Well, that's not how she got back in Armageddon.
Well, not only that, but a device like that cheapens the abilities of a speedster to like a huge level. To just have a device when Eobard had to use a freaking time bubble, it required a lot of moving parts to work.
Device.
But here's a device. Here's a device.
Also, if he's so fast, why did he need a whole machine? Like, why did you need a time ship?
I thought there was some reason. Maybe I have to go
To
back
sound
and watch
cool.
it.
Wasn't it
I
because like he couldn't run? That
I,
also
I think
that
he was
didn't make
losing his
sense.
powers, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he losing his connection or something like that? I believe that's what
Yeah,
it
I
was.
believe he was losing his connection to the negative force or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, it wasn't the negative speed force at first.
It
Remember?
wasn't. No, that was a plot.
No.
That was a plot hole. But I do believe that he was losing his speed, and that's why he came back to do what he did. But it might have been the other way around. Maybe what he did caused him to lose his speed, and maybe the bubble ship is just another like missed opportunity. I don't know. I hated that ship, by the way. I've talked about it many, many, many times. I hate the
Yeah.
whole concept of that time ship.
Yeah. I'd like to um I'd like to think maybe it was just like during the early days they didn't know what they could and couldn't do yet. They were still trying to find their footing. Um the early days of the Arrowverse in general are they can't be touched. It's top tier for me. Um but like I was saying, I would like to think that um people may hate this. It may be a hot take, but like you said, Black Lightning and Supergirl would have stayed on their own separate Earths. That way, it would have made more sense when Stargirl showed up on the CW. Would have made more sense when Naomi showed up on the CW. And then with Naomi, I would have had her tied to either Earth Prime Superman
Mhm.
or, well, Earth Prime Superman in my ideal universe would have been the one on Superman and Lois.
Mhm.
They could just say, they already set it up. It's not hard to say, oh, Clark, he got a new suit after that initial scene. He got a new suit. He decided to, stop shaving. And wears his hair differently now. It's his own show. He's the focus. So of course he's going to be more powerful. Supergirl was not on the air anymore. So changing the heat vision and stuff like that, that didn't really bother me like it's bothering other people for some odd reason.
Mhm.
Um, I would have had Naomi tied to that because I wouldn't have had okay, he can cross the multiverse. That's also in there for me. They still have access to the multiverse. Maybe he was that whole rumor of him chasing Mongol. They could have kept the original story from the comics instead of trying to do their own little offshoot brand of it, which didn't catch anybody's attention. They could have kept the original comic story. Tyler Hoechlin Superman goes to her Earth, fights. They actually meet. That would have made that show 100% better for me. Robert, how they changed it? The heat vision was blue.
It changed colors.
It
Yeah.
changed colors. It was
Yeah.
blue.
It still functioned the same. It was just a different color.
Yeah.
And Brandon Routh's Superman was orangish color. So I mean, it
Mhm.
wasn't red.
Yeah. So I honestly, you you do that, you have a more cohesive multiverse, and everything doesn't feel so fractured. You didn't need to have Supergirl and Flash across the water from each other because they were never going to meet.
Right.
They're not doing crossovers every other day.
Well, the weird thing was also looking back at that was another mistake that was made. Like, what was the point of that? I mean, I know they were trying to be like the movies where Gotham and Metropolis were close to each other, but it just didn't make a lot of sense for me.
Yeah,
So.
they were never going to meet. And also, jumping back to Crisis, how did that make sense that they knew that Oliver Queen was the one that made the sacrifice? Who went around telling the news people about Crisis in the first place? To them, Crisis never happened.
Well, I think that they just suspect that the public has been told that this happened. Like that someone like I don't know, maybe a whistleblower who would have told. I mean, at this point, who like tons of people probably know about Crisis within the like little groups that the people are associated with our heroes, but someone obviously told the story. Maybe Supergirl. I mean, it seems like because she loves to just reveal stuff. So
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's quite possible that she did it, but there was nobody attributed to it. So I don't. I mean,
oh,
Pre-Crisis Flash.
that's how I would have taken that out of the Supergirl finale completely. Honestly, the whole Supergirl final season, it would get rewritten. I wouldn't have signed off on that. Like, it wasn't good.
The final season of Supergirl.
The final season of Supergirl and the final season of
You
Black
mean
Lightning.
you didn't like the Agatha character on there from WandaVision flying
No.
around doing all kinds
What's
of stuff?
that? Oh, you're making a
No,
joke.
the Black
Yeah.
Lightning and Supergirl, they would get complete rewrites from me.
Black Lightning's final season was rough too, though. It was rough. I liked the first half of it, and then it just sort of like started falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and going back to season 3, I would have kept that tone throughout. I understand the pandemic came in and messed things up, but we came back to a completely different show.
Yeah.
Like a completely different show. It was weird. And I get it that like Ragu just said, Chris said it's COVID out here, I'm out. But in all actuality, why would you kill off one of the best characters you had just for shock value?
The other thing about it is that the situation wasn't just COVID, because Crest stopped promoting the show
All together. He was done.
Yeah.
He did one news story like virtually for it, and like I think that was the week the show was coming back on, and that was it. And
Yeah.
even in that, he was phoning it in. Like he wasn't generally happy. He was just sitting there like no haircut, no nothing, just on his computer, just talking to the newscaster. And I said, "This is gonna be bad."
It's also rough when everybody else on the cast, except for China, was also trying really hard to keep the show above water. And Crest, the captain of the ship, is just like,
When I saw like all the goodbyes on social media, and Nafisa and Krondon and Christine Adams, they were all posting the photos. Crest was not in any of them.
yeah, he was just in his little van somewhere, like his little makeup area getting ready.
I said, y'all didn't say y'all didn't post this man at all. Like what? He had his reasons.
I don't know if y'all feel this way, but there's definitely something that we're probably never going to know about what happened.
Yeah, I think there's some missing information.
Yep, I know, I know it has to do with Henderson's character. I know it has to do with that, because I remember on Twitter he posted like, just want to let y'all know I won't be back. That doesn't happen.
Well, the other thing is, and I'm curious what y'all think about this. Henderson's death didn't even, like, there was no point in it happening, because the next season they were going to do a story with the police department. He could have still been a part of that story. They could have brought in those agents. Everything could have happened. The only thing that would have changed is that we wouldn't have had like the first like 4 or 5 episodes of like, Jefferson being really sad. They could have come up with some other storyline for that. But Henderson dying was completely unnecessary. It didn't even matter in the big scheme of things for the show.
Definitely didn't.
I thought they already kind of did the whole Jefferson retiring, so why do it again because of a death? I mean,
that is true, because he was retired in the beginning of the series.
Yeah, that was the first season.
It's a repeat.
So, and then you have him say, "Yeah, I'm retiring from being a hero in Freeland, but not abroad." But then he clearly had to fight in Freeland. If you see the in the Earth Prime comics, because I'm sure Magog was pulling these heroes. So he had to send somebody to Freeland to fight Crest. They weren't going to fight his daughters.
Right.
That's another missed opportunity. His daughters.
Yeah.
It's so many things about this universe, about these shows that could have just come together and been more cohesive. They missed out on a lot.
I think his daughters were just as much a part of that show as he was. Like, the fact that it's one of the few shows where the children characters are just as important as the lead character. And in a lot of ways, their story surpassed Black Lightning's story.
The train is back.
The train is back. I'm going to ignore it. But, like, honestly, I thought when we found out Black Lightning was going to... You really want to honk your horn this long? I honestly thought when Black Lightning was showing up that... China and Nafisa were gonna pop up too, because he was a glorified cameo in Crisis. If we want to be completely honest, we didn't need him.
Mm-mm.
It was the same way in Armageddon.
He
So that
filled
was a
the,
cool
the
fight
role of
scene.
Joe. He filled the role of Joe in Crisis. That was
Yep.
basically it.
We did not need him. And as much as I love Black Lightning, like I said, Black Lightning was good enough to stand on its own, because then you have the plot hole and inconsistency of, okay, all of this stuff is going on, all of these occupations and green light metas that have been going on for all of these years on Earth Prime now.
Hmm.
You mean to tell me that the team at Star Labs didn't hear about other metas? Like, even now, even in the past season, they were shocked that Tenya was another meta in Coast City.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we missing? Writer's room. You literally have a whole nother city full of metas that were being experimented on, um, being held in their homes,
Yeah.
and you didn't send. Batwoman didn't go to Gotham. I mean, Batwoman didn't leave Gotham and try to go help. Batman didn't try to help. Like, he's been around. That, like, Crest was a superhero in the early days.
Mm-hmm.
So on Earth Prime, I've said this on Twitter many times. The early days had to have been Superman, Batman, and Black Lightning. Now, I know Martian Manhunter was hiding as, Hank Henshaw in
Well,
secret.
was it the Supergirl's version or Earth Prime's version? Because they could change it up a bit.
I don't like, now if Hank Henshaw would have showed up on Superman and Lois when we thought it was still on Earth Prime, then I would have said that. But I have to think that Hank Henshaw would have been the same guy.
See, the weird thing about it for me is I believe that for like Flash and Arrow and Legends, their history would have been very similar to what it was on their original Earth, except for like the crossover characters like Zoom and stuff like that. They obviously those would have been different. But I think for shows like Black Lightning and Supergirl, they would have had to retcon so much of their previous seasons to make them fit onto Earth Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because, as far as we know, on Black Lightning's Earth, some of the superheroes were comic book characters. They weren't even real characters.
Yep.
And as far as Supergirl goes, when she saw the Flash, that was her first time seeing him, meaning there was no Flash on Earth 38.
But then that brings back what did Harry say during Crisis on Earth X?
What was that?
That there's like didn't he say like infinite car, or did he say it was like 50 Earths or something?
Oh no, he said
he put a number on it.
52. I think he said 52.
52.
Then,
He said
he was
52
referencing the
cars.
new 52. Yeah.
He said it's 52 cars, 52 berries. I said, but
and they made like a
Cars
this
Earth
53
Prime,
actually,
like,
because Earth X is
or Earth
53.
X was 53, but they don't count it.
Yeah,
But I'm like, so that means there's a car on Earth Prime. Nobody tried to do that. Nobody tried to figure that out.
Well, they're also suggesting there's a Barry Allen was on Earth 38, but was not the Flash. Is what they're suggesting.
And whatever Earth, the other big mistake was not giving Black Lightning's Earth a designation number.
Right.
I was hoping we would finally figure that out.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess when they came to Earth Prime, they were just Earth Prime.
And to comment on Laura E's post that I was hoping for the kids to get a spinoff on Black Lightning, they would have gone to Painkiller first.
Yeah. I definitely Thunder and Grace would have been.
I will stand by this. If Painkiller was just another regular city, that show would have been picked up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was how expensive it was going to be to put on TV, to do the futuristic stuff every single week on a show that was running on a street level budget.
And that's why I think Green Arrow and the Canaries didn't get picked up, is because the future aspect of it.
They could have just put it in another city. Have Mia get stuck in the past. Have Mia just pick up the role of Green Arrow after Green Arrow's gone.
Mm-hmm. I've seen Bart Allen, in Young Justice. He came to the present to save his dad. Oh, Grandpa. And I'm getting them two mixed up. he saved his grandfather from blackout, from getting killed from that, and then stayed in the present. They could have done that with Mia or Bart Allen in the show in XS.
So I have a question. What if Barry or the kids ran back to like season 2 of the Flash, wouldn't they find out that Zoom is not the same Zoom from the multiverse? We'd actually get to see the Zoom that came from Earth Prime because they said that obviously he's not from the multiverse. But I have a this is completely off topic, but I just thought about this. Zoom had the ability, a unique ability as a speedster, to travel the multiverse. Do you guys remember that?
Yep, he can punch.
Which means that Zoom could still be a multiversal character, because just because we don't know there was another multiverse doesn't mean that he couldn't have still came from the multiverse, because he could open up tears and travel through the multiverse, which is something that no other speedster has been able to do that we know of so far.
We do know.
Well, except Barry. Barry,
they don't know.
Barry traveled to Earth 38 without,
Yeah,
with just running fast. So
yeah, accidentally.
it can happen for speedsters, but Zoom seemed to know how to do it whenever he wanted to.
Yeah, without training.
Yeah.
Kazi says, honestly, Lance, the continuity of the Arrowverse was making a lot of sense until after Crisis. Their plans not only fell apart with Discovery axing things, combined with actors wanting other projects. I honestly don't think it was actors wanting other projects. Like Steven, yes, he was going to leave because his contract was up. But the pandemic and, people wanting to move on with their lives, I completely understand all of that. Melissa became a new mother. She had been wanting to go. Like that's
since
not
like season 3. I mean, come on, it's pretty obvious.
That's not a hidden fact. But
when it wasn't the focus,
they greenlit Superman and Lois well before it was even announced that Supergirl was coming to an end. Well before they announced Black Lightning was randomly coming to an end. Remember, Black Lightning wasn't supposed to end. That wasn't even an official announcement.
Right.
That was a tap. Like that was somebody's random Twitter page that announced it and had everybody confused until the CW came out and made a formal announcement because it was random. I can honestly say, I think Crest went in to the studio that day because first of all, you don't announce that a show is ending that season when you're like on the 5th episode of filming said season. Yeah. That's not ending. That's a cancellation. Like, so I honestly think Crest, the conversation, he went into Salim. Salim was like, yeah, we want to do a season. We just got picked up for season 5.
Remember when there's a rumor when season 4 and 5 were being filmed at the same time? Do you remember that rumor?
Yep. He went in there. He was like, yeah, I want to do, we got picked up for season 5. Yeah, we're going to give honestly, I don't think Painkiller was a thing before this conversation.
No, I agree.
So he was like, we want to get picked. And Crest was like, yeah, I'm out.
Painkiller, they wanted Painkiller to be Black Lightning season 5.
Yep.
That's what they wanted Painkiller to be.
And honestly, all of these younger heroes, we have an Earth where the Titans exist, but the Titans exist alongside that Earth's Justice League. Like that's not made up stuff. That's stuff we've heard about. We know that Donna Troy has a Diana Prince. We know that. We know Aqualad. They mentioned the other heroes in passing. We know on Doom Patrol's Earth, they have a Justice League. Cyborg was supposed to be on the Justice League. Can you imagine that tiny Cyborg next to Batman?
No.
But
they also have a Themyscira on Earth Prime because Legends introduced one of the warriors because she went to live with them.
Yep. But
the other thing that bugs me is that there's a lot of this talk about the DCEU wanting to do like a Crisis event, but we've already had Crisis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like why would we do another one? Because that has been connected to the Arrowverse. Like we talk about what's the Arrowverse, what's not the Arrowverse. One thing that I can't argue is that the films are directly connected to the TV shows now because of Crisis. So the CW Arrowverse actually did a large event that the movies now should never be doing, which is Crisis. Which is why I believe the Flashpoint movie has to be their Crisis because they can't use Crisis has already happened, technically, and in continuity of the movies and the TV shows. So it would make sense for them to do it again.
I kind of find it hilarious that when watching the DCEU movies, I've seen similarities to their DCAU, which is like a repeat because we see like for instance if they do like Aquaman, like you've seen Aquaman, right? Well, they did an Aquaman Lost the Kingdom, and it's the exact same storyline, just a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's like, can they make
I've always said
creative
I think the
decisions?
writers of the animated universe should be writing the live action stuff.
Yeah,
That's just my
we
opinion.
would actually be
Like straight
enjoying
up.
it.
Like Kazi, yeah, I know that. That's what I was saying. I was saying they could have just kept him as a multiversal speedster.
Because even if it was that, you look at the board, it just says he came through a wormhole.
yeah.
Doesn't say where the wormhole came from.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of a what if situation. Like I know they rewrote him, but I'm saying they could have just kept him the same way. They didn't have to change him.
Yeah.
That would be actually cool to have a what if series about
But
the
do
Arrowverse.
you guys think that even on this earth, they could have had a multiversal, like, not even, you could call them Titans. They could have done live action Young Justice.
Celestials.
They could have done Young Justice on here in the Arrowverse. You had Speedy, Roy,
Mm-hmm.
Kid Flash,
Miss
um,
Martian too, I think.
Thunder and Lightning, Painkiller. Uh, Grace could have even Thunder and Grace could have been like the mentors because they could have been the mentors to this younger team instead of Wally was what 17, 18 when he was first introduced. China, not China. Jennifer is really young. Naomi is what 16, 15, 16 in universe.
We also have an Artemis.
Yeah.
She was an Arrow.
Well, we don't count Artemis because wasn't
Well,
she like secretly evil?
Well, I mean, like the comic book version of her.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so many young heroes that they were just trying to. Oh, you're gonna be a sidekick, but when we want to knock you out, that's where you're gonna stay. They could have done a Young Justice type show. It was. I remember Screen Rant and We Got This Covered was making up rumors about that left and right during the early days.
Yeah.
They could have really done that. It would have made more sense. You got your team that handles time travel, the Legends. You have the main team of Earth's heroes that are basically the Justice League that we never got to see.
Right.
But then you have your younger team that you send out. Instead of trying to greenlight all these random spinoffs, like a Wonder Girl spinoff.
Kind of sad about that.
Yeah, I was looking. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the concept was kind of cool, but
Yeah.
that's their problem. You're trying to develop spinoffs for characters who were literally just introduced in the comics. They only have 2 single issues out. Like, come on.
I actually think when Wonder Girl was announced, the first issue wasn't even out, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it was
they
announced
said they
before
were
the first issue
gonna
was
be
out.
telling her continue her origin, and as the show went on, it would build upon with the comics. I'm like,
Yeah.
how is that gonna be connected to the Arrowverse then?
I think the reality is that they have to look at newer characters because people complain when they change old characters. So they're like, we're going to just start using newer characters so people will stop complaining that we're changing the backstories of older characters. I think that was kind of what they were going for. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I do think that's what they were doing.
I have to correct myself. I said one Artemis. There's actually 2. One's on Stargirl too.
Oh, that's
She's
true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and in Stargirl you have Young Justice, but you have the Young JSA, but you could have had Stargirl be a multiversal part of this Young Justice team because she's the leader of her team. Andy says Wonder Girl was never meant to be a spinoff, though it just had plenty of text. Okay, so it was gonna kind of be like the whole Titan situation, except it's actually, well, it like Titans and Stargirl is actually just on a separate Earth. That could have worked though.
And hopefully they don't lie to us when.
By the way, speaking of Stargirl, to go back on what you were saying, I know that it doesn't happen in every iteration of it, but Stargirl in the comics, the cosmic staff can travel through the dimensions. Like it's a multiversal device. It can travel through dimensions.
Maybe that's how she'll either end up on Superman and Lois or Flash in that small cameo.
Yeah, it only worked, I think. I don't know. I don't want to say this because I don't know for sure. I think it stopped working after Crisis happened, but I mean, on the TV shows, they could easily just make it so that's not a thing. Because obviously after Crisis, it would have no reason to work.
Isn't that
So-
box thing the cube dimensional thing?
The transmatter cube or whatever.
Is that like a multiverse of travel thingy?
I think it can, but I think it also has other functions. Yeah. I don't know for sure. I do know the Cosmic Staff did have that ability though, pre-Crisis in the comics. I don't think it had it post-Crisis. Well, maybe it did when they announced that the multiverse was coming back, but it would have had no reason to have that power before, once everything was combined together.
You want to hear another hot take?
Yeah.
Sure.
I would have never went with Ruby Rose.
Nope.
Just went straight to Wallace Day, and if she did want to step away, then you bring in Javicia.
I actually heard there was a rumor they wanted Wallace Day originally.
I thought Wallace Day embodied Kate Kane more than Ruby Rose did.
She can act better.
Yeah, and the fact that she looks like Rachel Scarzan.
That's true. That is true. They did look a lot alike. I saw a video, and you know me, nobody go after Ruby Rose, right? I've never ever saying that. But someone made a video on TikTok where they were like, things we need to stop in 2022, and it was like,
oh yeah, I seen that.
Ruby Rose or whatever. I was like, oh
Wow,
all right.
But
jinxed us.
But then it gets so messy because Wallace is she's Kate Kane. Like she can kill that role. But then you have Javicia as Ryan Wilder. I think it's still a way you can work both of them in. Like
I would have been okay with Kate Kane coming back as like a person working with Ryan Wilder, from the home base, because the thing was that she's probably had a lot of trauma, PTSD. She might not want to be out in the field, but she might be okay funding things or running the company or whatever she needs to do to continue on with the show. Yeah.
She could be the
training. Mayada, you take a L for this because you clearly never seen Krypton.
Yeah, that was like the best TV show I've ever seen.
You haven't watched Krypton, so you haven't seen her literally.
I would have liked Lobo to appear in Superman and Lois just because that character on Krypton was awesome.
I think they took any chance of him coming back because that Superman already faced off against him. Yeah, unless he's locked up at the
past, flashback.
I'd be all for that. We could have had that as the flashback instead of what was the Nazi character in that what are
we talking about
on Superman and Lois when him and Lois first met, I guess when he was Superman, he was fighting the the Nazi type character.
Black Superman?
No.
Oh.
He was fighting the Nazi character.
Oh, you're talking about from the comics, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. No, it was in the show.
Are we talking about from the movies that was in the comics? You're talking about Nuclear Man?
No, not Nuclear Man.
Okay. The one that with the hearing device?
No, in the first season, when
Superman did the clap.
No, Tal-Ro did something to Superman to make him basically. We get to see the origin of how him and Lois met.
Yeah,
all that stuff, and then they see when it's the dude blowing a fire torch, and he's in the middle of the town.
Oh, okay, that guy.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is. Oh, wait. Yes, yeah. The his powers are like why would he even be fighting against Superman basically?
Yeah,
because he was using a flamethrower thing.
Yeah. Chat, we're trying to remember 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Why didn't they use They could have used Lobo for that.
Yes.
Yeah, they could have.
That would have been a better a Nazi. Yeah, that's why I said it's.
I mean, that's essentially what he is. Yeah.
Was that Atomic Man? I don't know.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
And
Andy,
yes,
I think we're all lost.
And Andy, Krypton was amazing.
So you want to know something else that just dawned on me? Crisis as a storyline for the Arrowverse was actually ultimately fan service, but also really freaking dumb because they connected every DC live action property, and we're supposed to believe that Earth Prime is the only Earth, but those movies and other shows still exist.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't on Earth Prime.
Well, they didn't get a tax write-down. That's for sure.
Hey, you know what else is dumb? The fact that they offered Brandon Routh this role before they fired him from. They offered him the role of Superman before they got rid of him on Legends.
Adam Man. Okay, that makes more
Adam Man,
sense.
okay.
That sounds like the actual name. Yeah, Adam Man.
Paige, you want to jump in this conversation?
Probably not.
I don't want him to get my channel shut off. Repping MAGA. Wow. I don't see it, but all right.
MAGA.
He doesn't like it because I'm wearing a Marvel shirt today and a Spider-Man hat. Probably.
I thought I said Batman, but then I see the Marvel.
But so Eric, how would you, if the world was perfect, how would you fix like what's been going wrong?
Well, at what point do I get to fix it? Like now or like
before Crisis? Let's say before Crisis, and I'm gonna throw out a scenario. Before Crisis, and Ruby Rose wasn't Batwoman, Javicia was from the jump.
Oh, you mean like she was the first person?
She was the first. Like
so she would have been the Paragon in the crossover event if we would have gone that direction.
Let's take the Paragons out completely because that was dumb and it means nothing.
Yeah, that was dumb.
The Paragons weren't even a thing during the real Crisis, so I don't understand what that was there. So,
and Martian Manhunter was actually Martian Manhunter the entire time.
Yeah,
not just
Paragon of Love like ruined the Flash going forward.
Love
the whole
ruined the Flash.
We are the Flash. We are,
So what do you mean, like fixing everything before Crisis happened, or Crisis has been announced and now I have to fix everything? What are we talking about?
Crisis has been announced. How would you approach Crisis in order to make?
Okay, first of all, as cool as it was, I would have not included any movie stuff, out 100%. I loved seeing the connection, but ultimately now we know that was a big mistake. I think for them to connect the two, but it was a big moment. So I don't know. Maybe they want to keep it. I personally probably would have not done it unless it intended to have our Flash, Grant Gustin, show up in something in the films. Then I'd be like, okay, we're down with that. We still don't know because we don't know what's going to happen with the Flash movie. But that would have been the first thing I would have done. Secondly, I don't know if I would have included any modern shows like Titans or Doom Patrol or anything. I might have reached back on shows that have already been like taken off the air because those don't matter, like Birds of Prey and stuff like that. Like those things don't matter. The modern shows that continue on sort of breaks the illusion that the Earths were merged together. Because think about this, like you look at Birds of Prey. If Birds of Prey got merged into our Earth Prime, that's a bit of history that can be referenced on the show because that show is gone. It's not on the air anymore. But you can't reference anything from Titans or Doom Patrol because that's another show that's still happening on another network. Yeah. So I would have tried to contain it a little bit. The other thing is I would have probably locked in contracts for more than one season of Black Lightning and Supergirl so that it could just end once they come together, because I think that was another problem. But if we're talking about what I would have done ahead of time, like before Crisis happened, Crisis would have never happened. I would have never done Crisis. I would have picked another major event or made up one specifically for the Arrowverse. Like Crisis in the Arrowverse, or Crisis of Two Earths, or I don't know, something more exciting that would have been contained to the Arrowverse, because I do believe that the biggest mistake that was made outside of everything was bringing Black Lightning and Supergirl onto Earth Prime. I think that was the biggest mistake, and I would have taken Legends out of Earth Prime. I would have actually put Legends on another Earth altogether.
Yeah, they didn't really reference
that was too
it.
fast. I didn't
or make them multiversal and not time related. I've said this from like season 3. Legends needed to move on from time travel and become a show about multiversal travel, because then we could have had different versions of heroes whenever we wanted. If you got a fan casting for the Flash, guess what? This week's episode, the Flash is on it, and it's someone else that you fan casted. It's not Grant Gustin. Like, you could have had a multiversal version of Sarah instead of androids and robots like we had in the freaking last season of Legends. There were so many things you can do with multiversal travel that is much, much cooler than time travel. because time travel is very constrained. People are like, oh, you can do so many things. No, you can either go forwards or backwards. With the multiverse, you can go anywhere and do anything. So I think they should have expanded to that. So I would have put Legends in a different universe. Like I would have bumped them off into their own like Earth 78 or something.
I wonder if they actually knew about Legends Earth, Earth 16. Like it didn't feel like it was like the continuation was like plot device. They wanted to spread out the multiverse, so they made the travel to the future of 2049 on old Oliver, and put him on another Earth. I don't think that was the original take on it. It fell off to me when
It did feel off. It felt random and forced that they said, "Oh, so we just didn't travel through time; we traveled through the multiverse." But you never tried to do that again.
and then they used John Diggle Jr. as a
That
as
was
a,
dumb.
yeah,
Was dumb.
and kind
that
of
story was convoluted because think about that one. That one was like
You just wanted
It
a way
only
to
took
bring him
8
back on the show. So how does he come back as a completely different person's son?
And it kind of it took 6 years for this to happen. If you're thinking about it, if the original or 2049 happened, it the Mia story arc was in 2041, 40 or 41 or 42. It was only a few years difference if it actually happened on that Earth until they
that's
decided to put
true.
on Earth 16.
That's true.
Okay, so Eric, how would you handle integrating like Naomi and Stargirl and Superman and Lois
Wait, you mean like after they've already had their first seasons or just from the jump? Like
from the jump?
from the jump? Stargirl could have just been in the middle of the United States. I mean, they could have easily done that and had the JSA and everything. Like there was nothing in Stargirl that necessarily messed with the continuity of any of the other shows. It was very similar to Black Lightning and me, and to the fact that it was very contained to like that area they were in. And they could have referenced like modern superheroes. She could have been like they could have had her as like the Ms. Marvel. Basically, they kind of did that anyway because she was excited about the JSA and stuff like that. But they could have had it so that she was a fan of Supergirl already. Like, oh, I want to be like Supergirl one day or something like that or whatnot. Like they could have incorporated that on top of the JSA stuff because there was nothing inherently in season 1 that needed the other characters to come do anything. Like that first season could have played out the same way it did, and she could have still existed on the same Earth as everyone else. And Naomi is the same way because she's a fan of Superman. It was already there on the show. All they had to do is make it a literal Superman, not a comic book Superman. Like she could have been somebody who loved Superman and had a Superman website, a Superman blog. She ran the biggest Superman fan club. He was just a real person. Because if you look back at Naomi season 1, they could have done that. He could have just been a hero on that Earth. Or they could have taken the story from the comics. Yep. Where she goes from one Earth to another. The first episode, she starts off on her Earth, and by the second episode, she's on Earth Prime.
Yeah, I kind of hated that disconnection of the comic because that was like what drew me to Naomi is because I know about that comic where she her Earth was dying, so she was sent to another Earth, and that Earth could have been Earth Prime. And she was grown up seeing Tyler Hoechlin's Superman on that Earth.
And honestly, like he is the definitive CW Superman. Like, like 3W, you're gonna be mad at me, but listening to the Talkville podcast. I honestly, I started rewatching Smallville instead of watching Black Clover.
Like, so dang it. I see where this is going.
I started rewatching Smallville, and dude, some of the things that happened to that Clark, I want to see happen to this Clark. Imagine Tyler Hoechlin on Red K.
Yes.
we've seen how he handles it when he gets hit with like regular kryptonite. We've seen the effects of yellow kryptonite. I want to see Red K in the Arrowverse. Like we've seen it with Kara. Although Kara's just came off as Melissa had that one note take of being evil.
Yeah.
Uh, what was it? Red Daughter was the same as her on Red K, and it was the same as her on
There was like no
the evil
difference.
Nazi Supergirl. It's the same attitude. I'm
Yeah.
Overgirl, same
yeah,
thing.
it's Overgirl. It was the same thing. Like all three takes was the same. This no shade towards Melissa, chat.
Yeah.
She is
We like
still,
her.
I can't wait to see what she does next. But
Mm.
her angry Supergirl was the same. I want to see Tyler on Red K, or even take it a step further, Jordan,
Mm.
just to see the effects. Maybe Clark. I'm pretty sure he's come across it, but maybe they discover because okay, two seasons in a row, we've seen the effects of yellow kryptonite. We don't need to see it anymore.
Yellow. What's funny is there's no yellow in Smallville.
Uh-oh.
What's doing?
Uh,
There's no picture. It's just
there's
a
no
white
picture.
gray circle.
No, I'm driving.
Oh geez.
crap.
Oh no. This is a car review. I feel it already.
Yeah, it's a form of a car review. Mate, you're sitting on my handbrake. I don't know how long you're gonna last there. Hopefully you don't fall off.
Oh no.
I can hear.
This is like a reverse DJ era.
Mate, I'm annoyed as well. There was a cracking song on the radio. Oh shit! You're falling off. Hold on.
Oh no.
Okay, there's
So-
no traffic coming. If I crash, it's Eric's fault.
Oh no. Kazi says the core problem is writers and showrunners always want a clean slate to work with and not a show with continuity. But Marvel's proven that they can do that. They're
Yeah.
like 4 phases in now. Like, yeah.
Oh shit!
It's-
Oh, no.
It's about
Car
somebody dedicated at the top that cares about keeping everything together. That's all
Yeah.
it means. So
I honestly I wish that we could have kept that cohesiveness that we had towards the early seasons, like seeing the promotion, the hero fight clubs, like those little shorts and commercials and stuff. Those were great. I miss those days. Like I was sitting there, getting my
don't expect
phone.
anything like that in the final season of The Flash. I'm just
No,
saying, don't expect anything in the final.
I was sitting there getting my, talking to my wife about like what we're gonna have on TV, and like it hit me like we don't have any CW stuff. Like, of course, we're watching Walker and All American and Kung Fu, but other than that, it's mainly gonna be ABC, CBS, NBC on our DVR this season, and it's weird.
And this might be a hot take, but I truly
And he cut out.
How did we cut out?
I truly believe.
I
Hey,
truly
listen.
believe that nothing will happen.
What
I
happened?
thought I was the one that cut out. I was like, what?
That was like weird. I truly believe, and then you
What
go. You
happened?
had the edge of my seat.
I can't say anything.
Did his computer cut off?
And it wouldn't be too surprising if that was the case.
I don't know. Well, Paigey, what do you think? Like, what was your ideal? What's your ideal? Like, how would you have wanted the if you could have had control over like what they were gonna do in Crisis? Like, me, Eric, 3Dubs, we all agreed we would have just kept Supergirl and Black Lightning separate. Like, is your thinking the same way?
Yeah, because it worked before. I think it was just because they did Crisis that I think people expected the worlds to merge. I think it was like a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. I think they were in a bit of a lose-lose situation for the most part. Like, I think if they kept them separate, people would have complained, but also they put them together, so people complained.
Okay. Yeah. Eric said his computer died out. He's about to restart it.
Okay, well, you'll get to me going through the Macca's drive-through, so get ready for some absolute entertainment on the next level.
I can hear you blinker.
Is this guy gonna move? What's he fucking doing?
But
Road rash.
so like I've always said, like I would have like introduced Naomi, and if in a perfect world, Superman and Lois would have been on Earth Prime.
Or
That
just
was their
ran away.
that wow, Paigey. That was their way of bringing Naomi into the greater Arrowverse if it was, written properly.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't have went with the shadowy Superman, because honestly, you're on the same network. You can have a Superman on there. At least that's my thinking. I don't see why they weren't allowed to actually use Tyler.
I would think no. I actually think they it would, if they were trying to be separate, it would have been a different Clark Kent or Superman, because with a different face, which they should have just shown them to, put that at ease that it's on a different Earth instead of dangling a carrot in front of us.
I don't know. It's just so
And
many
wasn't that
things.
Superman wearing red outside of his pants?
Was he wearing trunks? I don't remember. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't even finish Naomi.
I didn't either. I'll be completely honest. I watched the first 5 episodes. It didn't pass my 3-step process.
Because it seemed like they didn't do metas. They did aliens, kind of like Supergirl did, but they did it weird. So it made me lose my interest. And I'm not interested in Riverdale Light, basically. And if you're gonna be based on a superhero property but not show any superheroes, well, that's why Gotham Knights doesn't really have my attention.
I kind of stopped Riverdale on season 3 or 4. I'll watch the rest when it concludes.
I won't.
I mean, to waste time, there's 24 hours in the day,
Paigey, have you read that new article about what the CW is doing now?
With the drama thing about they're making content, but not as much as for the late night shows.
Yeah.
The dramas. Yeah.
Kazi, I cannot argue with that. I cannot argue with that.
I can't argue with that either.
They have a lot of restrictions, and
hi, I'm just here to pick up mobile order 7K. Yeah. Yeah, ZK17. Yeah, thank you.
What is he?
He's ordering something food.
Is he going to share?
Virtual sharing. No flash
mercenary.
He's ordering food.
Hey, all good. Thank you.
Ooh, Ghost.
Would you guys have had all of the heroes from their respective shows appear in Crisis? No.
No, I don't think so.
No, that was the problem with Crisis. It was basically glorified cameo fest.
It was like there was no room. Like if COVID happened during that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, like it was too much
too
as
crowded.
it is. So I mean, I don't know Mercenary. Me personally, no. The ones we did get was cool, but like Tom Welling's Clark, 2 minutes of screen time basically. Even Michael Rosenbaum declined to come back because
I would have paid him to come back.
they tried. They tried. It was no story.
Yeah.
What would he have come back to do?
Well, for me, I would actually do the Lex, the Council of Lexes, like in the comics. I would have done that, and also the Superman art that was in the comics too. I would have done that too. That would have probably got him to come back because of the bunch of Lexes.
You know, Kazi, I don't disagree with that, except for actually that could have worked in some aspects. You have to change certain things around, but that could have worked.
What did Win Grace say?
No, he's Kazi's saying that Superman and Lois could have actually worked as a prequel to the Arrowverse.
It doesn't really work with if you watch Supergirl because of the fact that the he doesn't get that suit that you see in the
Oh
in the
shit!
crossovers.
There is a druggie in front of me. What the fuck is he doing? Oh no, he's just. I think he's just off his head. It's all good. Same thing. He's walking with a.
Give you
It's
a
like
prescription.
It's a box with like all these clothes in it, and he's just pumping music. He's got like a yellow mohawk sort of thing going on. Not too sure what's going on completely there.
What did you just pick up to eat?
Sorry?
Did you just get some food?
Yeah, I got a coffee and a what do you call it? Like a ham and cheese toasty breakfast.
Got anything to share? Just kidding.
What time is it there?
It is 9:30 or some shit. 20 to 10.
PM?
No, in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, good morning.
He's in Australia. He's down under.
Wow, that's a lot of hours difference. It's 6:42 here.
PM.
PM. We're still in yesterday. You're in the new day.
He's in the future. That's actually cool.
So how's the future? Are we still in this COVID nation?
Joe Biden fell over again. So that's the only update I think I have.
Would you, Paigey, would you like to see Tyler Hoechlin be affected by, well, basically any other color kryptonite except for yellow and green? I want to see Tyler Hoechlin Superman get affected by Red K or Jordan. Either or will work.
Pink kryptonite.
You know, I thought about that too. I'm not even joking.
Pink kryptonite?
You don't know what pink kryptonite does?
During Pride Week.
No, it wasn't in Smallville, so no.
It was in the comics. Well, for let's just say it would work for the LGBTQ community because of what it does to Kryptonians for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's not offensive.
Yeah. But why does it do that?
Because it's pink?
Like we've seen him. What was the colors kryptonite that they used in Supergirl? The silver one?
No, they didn't use silver. They used the
to control him in season 2 of Supergirl.
Yeah, they did use silver then. But it was done weird. Smallville's I think they did draw in from Smallville's version of how that affects him, but it doesn't weaken him. It freaks him out. Like he becomes schizophrenia. That's what they did in Smallville.
True. And Kazi, I don't think that's a restriction on Berlanti. That's just a restriction WB has in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're lucky they let us get Superman for a TV show. Only reason is because they weren't doing anything with him on the movie side. Would you agree with that, Paigey? That's the only reason why we got a Superman TV show?
For the most part, yeah.
I think Superman's less strict because of the fact that we've seen him Superman TV shows a lot, like Superboy, Lois and Clark, Smallville. Not really Superman, but you know the character Clark Kent. We've seen like multiple iterations of Clark Kent, though.
Yeah, but WB gatekeeps Batman so much.
Yeah, I want a Batman show because not Gotham. I want a Batman show, a literal Batman show that isn't a Joker, like from Batman 66. That was complete. You know, I get the the funniness of it, but I don't like it.
But I mean, that Batman, it was meant to be like that.
Yeah, it was meant from the get go to be like that. I want a serious one. I want like not Arrow, but serious.
I mean, technically, with Arrow, we did have a series.
Yeah, we got like a Dark Knight green color scheme version of that.
I don't know. I always wanted to see Warren Christie like I know we saw the Batman in like suited up in flashbacks or whatever, but it was never Warren Christie in the suit.
No, it was Superman version of not looking at the camera. If
Yep,
you've seen
Ragu. He
Supergirl,
no, Ragu says, remember Smallville was supposed to be a Batman origin story,
yeah,
but got changed as they wanted. They always want to use him in films. They did, however, throw him in the comics.
mm-hmm.
In the
Because
Smallville
comics don't have that a lot of restrictions. And yeah.
If we get a Batman show, put it on HBO Max. Yeah, but what if the CW actually pays to get it? Like I understand everybody wants them to, wants to cry, put it on HBO Max, put it on HBO Max. But that's if HBO Max wants it.
And
I'm sure they will, but at the same time,
the CW is not the CW that you think it's going to be.
Yeah, and think about it this way, Mercenary. They just passed on a whole. Didn't they just pass on a Batman animated show?
Yeah, they like canned Batman the Cape Crusader.
So HBO Max is not the savior.
And Young Justice is getting canceled too.
Yeah,
and that had Batman in it.
We're still waiting on Eric's computer to act correctly because he had a good point that he wanted to get across.
Yeah, I have an MSI, so I have a gaming PC. And Paige has a phone.
I'm sitting in my car. I can just hear someone singing. I have no idea.
Behind the scenes.
Well, I'm holding back the urge. I got a new mic.
I can still hear it. Where is it coming from?
Whoa.
Oh, someone's in the McDonald's playland. That's what it's on singing.
Hey,
framing.
Paige, did you hear about this? I didn't hear anything about this. Behind the scenes for Crisis, WB didn't want to give the Superman Return suit, so Berlanti worked around it by adapting parts of the Kingdom Come story. They threatened to cancel Superman and Lois if he took a step too far.
I didn't know about the threat, but I knew about the workaround.
It doesn't surprise me too much.
Like the workaround I get, and then yet and still at the end of Crisis, they still just did a reskin of the suit to make it the classic Superman Return suit. Oh, Kazi, I trust Andy because he handles all of that stuff. So I don't think that they would punish him that harshly.
No. They want to keep some people, trustworthy, with the WB like effing up people over left and right.
Winggrace, how would that crossover work? I'm really intrigued. How would Harry Potter and Batman cross over?
Well, it is Warner Brothers, but it doesn't make. I mean, they did do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Power Rangers, and then they also did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Batman, I think, and then Batman with Scooby Doo.
You know what's a crossover I want to see?
What?
Since Netflix does own Power Rangers now, put them Justice League versus Power Rangers. They did it in the comics.
That would be awesome.
They did it in the comics.
The Justice League would have to be like bad guys for Power Rangers to fight them, or someone's controlling the Power Rangers or Justice League.
Kazi, IMDb and TV tropes, they're not really trusted sources.
Yeah, IMDb is like
anybody can write on there.
Yeah,
so
it's not trustworthy, and they a lot of times they bomb reviews, bomb the shows and stuff like that. Andy's don't want to butcher your last name. Said something under it.
No, Lance, we need Power Rangers versus Stranger Things.
I did see Cobra Kai now, so I've seen this first season. Yeah.
What did you think?
It's a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Told you. Paige, do you watch Cobra Kai?
No.
I think you would like that.
I still the second season is kind of like, I started it, and I do not like the villain, the guy who was in the original movie, the sensei of Cobra Kai.
Someone's just driven past in a Tesla, and the license plate is Yesla, like Yesla, YESLA. God, that must have cost a lot.
Yes,
what kind of car are you driving, Paigey?
A Jeep. Oh,
You
why does
know,
this dude
I,
park
I
right?
always knew
Hold
you
on,
had
I'm
a Jeep.
leaving. I'm not leaving the chat. I'm leaving the car. This dude's just parked right next to me. Like, seriously, there's about 74 other car park spaces.
I
And you
drive a
can't
Nissan
Uber as
Versa.
well. Oh, it's an Uber Eats driver. That's why they're picking up an order. Okay, see you, love. Thanks for parking right next to me.
Yes, I heard about
Off we go. Oh, God, I have to drive through the drive-thru if I want to get out.
Yes, Flash Freak. I heard about Cosmic Fury. That's actually great news because originally it was thought that Netflix was going to scrap the current run of Power Rangers
Mm.
and do original content and not, stop adapting from the Sentai series. But this is dope.
Yeah, it's the first time since Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that they have done a third season. Usually it's one season with 40 episodes, and then it was broke when they did the Power Rangers superness of it. It was broken up into two seasons.
Yeah. Cobra Kai is literally Power Rangers in the most fictional, realistic way. That is true because some of the stuff they do on that show is just like mind blowing because like you're really doing this in high school.
I kind of find it funny that they did a reverseness of, if you ever seen Karate Kid, the reboot with Jackie Chan, it was kind of like the reverseness of that, but it was directed at the blonde guy because the guy who won the fight in the past, I forget his name. Right?
LaRusso?
Yeah, Larusso. He was considered the person being bullied.
Yeah.
Now, the blonde guy, I forget his name,
Johnny
but
Lawrence.
yeah, Lawrence. He's becoming the one getting bullied by him. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's what when I first started watching it, that's what drew me into the show.
Mm. That's what kind of drew me in too. I'm also looking forward to Paintless, not the older version, but the younger one. Not Golden Glider.
Multi-topic talk. That's I'm trying to get to that monetization stage. It'll come with time, but it's in the bottom of the screen. If you want to support the channel, you can do
I was in the
so
last
via
one, so
Cash App.
yay! I'm glad you liked it. What's kind of funny is I got like a bucket list and I just completed it on stream. I got DJ Eric and Paigey.
Wait, he plays Lord Zed now? Like he's the new voice for Lord Zed?
Yeah.
That's cool. Where is Eric? Is Eric back yet?
Stop then, you idiots! That's what you get for going in that lane.
Road Rage, Paigey.
Oh, I just bypassed everyone. How funny is that? What'd you say?
How fast are you going?
Oh, probably a bit too fast, but we're all speed cameras in this area, so I think we're all good. As long as the cops aren't here, and they usually don't.
Yes, Kazi. I read the previous chat about Berlanti and restrictions. I agree that they do have a lot, but that's just not for Berlanti. That's for everybody because they give him such free reign with these characters and other showrunners and filmmakers. It's bound to happen. I mean, honestly, Marvel does the same thing, just not on this level. I mean, look at how they handle Spider-Man and Sony. You literally have a offshoot Spider-Man universe with no Spider-Man in it, and where all the villains are basically anti-heroes. Well, not basically, they're anti-heroes.
Mm-hmm. They're kind of like Godspeed. That shit is gonna happen.
Yes, Wario dies in a car accident.
Really?
I heard about Penn Badgley being the potential Mr. Fantastic. I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it's rumored.
Yeah, it's rumored, but wasn't it also rumored that the Fantastic Four were going to be an established team? Meaning, I thought they were going to be,
There was no going
like
to be
older.
original story.
Yeah, it was just like they were going to be like a team already.
Yeah, and it wasn't going to have an origin story. Yeah.
So I would expect like a John Krasinski, aged Reed Richards, not necessarily John Krasinski, but somebody in that age range. But that's just me.
To tell you the truth, we didn't get an origin story for Spider-Man either.
Which worked. Oh, Eric's back.
Hey,
Hey.
I don't think my camera's going to work, so I'm just going to use audio for now.
Okay.
So
What do you
I think that's what caused my
say?
computer. It caused my computer to crash, so I don't want to turn it on.
Okay. But Eric, what do you think about that potential Mr. Fantastic casting?
I don't know much about the actor, honestly,
Same.
so I don't really have a lot to say. I mean, he looks okay for like a younger Reed Richards, but I don't know a lot about it. I know a lot of people said that he was their fan casting, but I don't really know much about him. So
what were you going to say about the crisis thing? That
that was like 20 minutes ago. I don't even remember what it was.
I was waiting for it. I was like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, maybe it'll come back to me here in a minute. I don't remember.
But Andy has a good point. Because Kazi was talking about like the restrictions that they have to deal with nowadays, like on any comic book set or whatever. But Smallville dealt with a lot of them, and it's not even restrictions. It was also things that just Tom Welling refused to do.
And they couldn't actually say their code names either. That they had rights to some, but they couldn't actually say some of their code names, like Black Canary. I don't think was ever said.
They called her Black Canary.
They called her Canary.
They did.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they also didn't call Aquaman.
Was he from Atlantis in the show, or how did that work? Because I mean, he had a mirror and everything.
He was a metahuman, not a birth metahuman. Like he didn't get his powers from green kryptonite. He was born with them.
Okay.
And that's what happened with Bart Allen too. He was born with them after a freak accident. And then what's kind of funny is Alan Richardson is a part of my community. He grew up in Niceville, and I'm like literally right there. He actually, what's kind of funny is there's a story that my sister actually beat him up in high school.
Wow.
And so my sister beat up Aquaman, you know. It was kind of, I've been wanting to talk to him. I don't have enough money to ever go to Comic-Con, but I want to, tell, hey, my sister.
Ragu says Smallville did deal with a lot of them. For example, Vandal Savage was in season 7 of Smallville.
Yeah, he was. It was Dean King. Dean King was the Vandal Savage, but they couldn't say his name.
I don't even remember that.
I remember him. He tried to cut out Chloe's heart and Lois.
That was Vandal Savage?
Yeah, that was Vandal Savage.
So what did they call him?
They called him a guy that was immortal.
Oh,
that couldn't die.
Okay.
I don't even. Eric, did you remember that? I did not remember that.
It's been a long time since I've seen that season. So
I have seen this show 200 times. No joke. I can recite anything from that show like it's a memory.
Andy says it was the Flash that they couldn't say. Black Canary was said. Look at the first trailer when Impulse was going to show up, and look at how that was marketed. Yet they couldn't say. Yeah, I like the take on Bart in Smallville. It was interesting. It was different, but like how he did bring up like it would be cool to show up on the Flash. How would that work?
Well, he's actually faster than Barry Allen. If that
in
impulse,
Smallville, that impulse, I doubt
that impulse is more faster than, and like if he's the one from the Smallville is in fact he's actually more faster than Barry Allen.
than the
Yeah.
Barry Allen we have on the Flash?
Yes.
Chat, I completely disagree with that statement.
Because of the fact that
For all we know, that one did not have access to the Speed Force. But then again, John Wesley Shipsbury didn't either, but randomly did when he showed up. But I disagree with that.
and we
Eric,
actually
what do you think? I don't agree with that. Like the kid was fast, but no, it's no way.
Did they ever say his actual speed in the show? Like,
No, they didn't. But
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't really know.
He was
honestly.
faster than Clark, but then
yeah,
again,
he was like 10 times faster than Clark.
Yeah, Clark tried to chase him down the street, and that was a bust. It was like, whoop, nope, gone, bye.
And then Bart Allen shows up behind him and goes, woohoo, and he turns around and goes, "Does too slow, Stretch."
I mean, at
Yeah.
a certain point, speed, when you reach a certain level, it's just teleporting. I mean,
And
that's
also,
pretty much what
Barry
it is.
Allen wasn't really there. He's
yeah,
like
no,
fictional.
they use his
He's
names, but they couldn't use Barry Allen in Smallville. That's why they
Nope.
went with Bart.
And they couldn't even say whose his parents' names were. They just said my parents. I don't know. They just left me or whatever. Not entirely sure about that.
I mean,
'cause-
it's pretty much a known thing that speedsters are completely broken, and in reality, they can beat anybody, and that includes Superman. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
and they introduced him as a common thief.
Do you think that Eric Wallace would try to pull him in somehow and then say, "Oh, we rediscovered the multiverse."
Off screen.
Yeah, off screen. And no, it would be Bart from the future found this Bart that's in present day already, and then try to rework that whole storyline. And then,
I mean, what they could do that would be really smart would just be like when the show comes back for season 9, the very first episode, they're like, "We found the multiverse." Just start out with that and then run with that. That's what
And
I
I
would say.
didn't like how they brought back Green Arrow's costume for Earth 90. I'm like, that if no,
yeah, that was weird.
I'm like that's not my
Easter
Green Arrow.
eggs.
So what's
Like-
it doing there?
Like you want Easter eggs, I get that, but you had Earth 69 Flash's Green Arrow suit there. You had the Hawks, had a vibe. I'm like, man, you just got everybody from different Earths on this one Earth with this extremely old Barry Allen.
Mhm. I did, however, like that they changed that Barry Allen went with Tina Greer's character, because that's what she was the
She was
Iris
Iris.
West. She was the Iris West in the series, technically.
Yeah, it worked.
Even though there was an Iris West.
Why did they write her out? That wasn't it like the actress didn't want to do the show anymore or something?
It was kind of weird. I think that they wrote her out, but like unintentionally, because there wasn't really much story to tell, because they forced her kind of story to conclude.
Why is
with her.
Paige's door so loud when he closed it?
What?
It's a Jeep.
Oh yeah,
That wasn't my door. That was my glove compartment thing.
Oh,
That's it.
what you getting out the glove compartment, Paigey?
No, I was making sure my wallet was there.
Ah,
But yeah,
would you want to see the Bart Allen from Smallville on Flash, Paigey?
No, I really couldn't give a shit if he showed up or not, to be completely honest. I
But
can't
how-
remember the episode from Smallville too much, outside of the fact that he was stealing stuff.
How would you handle it though?
Oh, I know, like the villain finds him and kills him. Something like that.
No, no, that's dark.
I would have liked Michael Shanks to be Hawkman. He was like the better version of what we actually got.
That's why I'm looking forward to the Aldous Hodge, because honestly, the one that we got in Legends, I don't like him as an actor.
Mm. Did you did you actually notice that on Smallville, Lois has actually kissed the entire Justice League,
Yeah.
almost, except for Bart?
Did she kiss Cyborg?
Yeah, no, Cyborg and Bart is the only two, but she's kissed like almost all of the major players in the Justice League.
Well, I mean, if you want to be completely honest, on
She
any
dated
CW
Aquaman.
show, I mean, sharing the friend group is like, that's what they do.
And she and she kissed Hawkman, but then they go into do this own show, and she's literally dating him.
That's weird.
Called Saving Hope, I think it's called.
Hmm.
He's technically dead during the show because a car accident or whatever, and he tries to talk to her through ghost form until he's resurrected. He's kind of
Yes,
in a coma.
yes, regular. Yeah, they did introduce Connor Kent.
Lucas Graybill.
Graybill. That was weird. That was a
Peachy
weird
Kent.
choice to be Connor Kent to be Superboy.
Yeah, I
Um,
was Rise to the Top came to my head when I saw him. Bob to the Top. High School Musical. Though they did the flashback before they did. They didn't introduce Connor Kane in season 10, by the way. They introduced him in season 6, and he was bald, and it was
no,
Lucas
because he was
Graybill.
supposed. Yeah, because he was Lex in flashbacks.
Yeah,
It was Hawkman coming on to Lois and kissed her, not the other way around. That is true. That is true. Wario, they will. I don't see Ralph coming back anytime soon.
I was talking about the actress, by the way. The
I
actress
don't.
has kissed like all the Justice League members. Almost.
I don't see him coming back anytime soon. I'm being completely honest.
He's not coming back.
Paige, do you agree with the whole Ralph thing? Like that's dead.
Yeah.
Is he eating now? Eric.
What?
There you are.
I was waiting for Paigey to answer.
I don't know what Paige is doing, but do you think that's dead like right now, right? Like the whole
Ralph?
yeah.
He's never coming back to the show.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. I mean, they might mention him, but I don't think we'll ever see him back on screen again.
Kazi, this is really random, but who thinks Alan Horn is gonna save the DC universe?
Better question. Who is Alan Horn?
He was one of the people in charge over at Disney during their big phase the last decade and a half or whatever, where he made them profitable, but he no longer worked for. He actually retired, and then they brought him back in as a consultant for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was a part. I was always heard about Kevin Feige and all that, but never Alan Horn.
Yeah, well, Alan Horn was more of a bigger, he was a broader figure in Disney. He didn't just deal with Marvel. He dealt with their animated stuff and everything to deal with them actually. So
okay, cool.
So I'm probably gonna go for about another 10 minutes. So it's gonna this 10 minute warning. We can just switch it to a ask anything, get our opinions on stuff. Marvel just hired someone to keep track of their timeline. They did, or is that a joke? Because I don't remember hearing that.
I remember the Arrowverse doing it, but he wasn't doing a good job.
Poker face.
Oh, Paige, you don't get on here singing.
Poker face, really?
What?
Yeah, we
I
heard
was
you.
saying how much I enjoy your singing voice.
Oh yeah, I'm playing Lady Gaga in the server.
That's Barry Allen's favorite song, apparently.
Oh yeah. Well,
So, Stargirl starts this week in about a day from now. At least for Paige, it's the next day, right? It's Tuesday there.
Yeah. I'm waiting until it gets on to DVD, The Flash Freak, his Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, yes. I saw Dragon Ball Super. I loved it. This is lit. When I tell y'all that this movie had so many callbacks to the original, to Dragon Ball, and it acknowledges several running gags in the show, without spoiling anything. It acknowledges several running gags, dumb questions that you've asked yourself several times concerning different characters. You get the lineage of the red. Well, it everybody knows that the superhero things they're androids. So you get like the lineage of how like the Red Ribbon Army turned into what it is, well, what it was in Dragon Ball Z and what it is today. They didn't miss anything. If anything, I'd say the only missed opportunity for me was Goten and Trunks. That's the only missed opportunity.
Did they not merge?
They did. It's just not what you would think. It's not what you wanted.
Okay.
And once you guys see it, you'll know what I mean. But I like that the focus was shifted from Goku and Vegeta to Gohan and Piccolo, because you don't really see that.
Yeah, Gohan was like downgraded. He was weakened during Dragon Ball Z's 200 episode. When he went to high school, he became weaker as the story progressed.
Yeah, but I will say they acknowledge all of that. Like I said, they don't. This is literally Akira Toriyama. He should never leave this franchise. Like, I'm so glad he came back aboard to do like the movies and the Super series in general, because he didn't miss a thing. Like, the man killed this. Like, the animation was great. I love this animation style. I want to play a game in that animation style. But hey, voice acting was top tier. Yes, Broly is in this. I like how he's integrated. Because I know he didn't create the original Broly. I like this version better than the non-canon films that we had. But yeah, I gave this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I took off some points just because, like I said, I didn't like how they handled Goten and Trunks. But hey, I highly recommend this movie.
Do you know that Piccolo has voiced Vegeta? I think he also voices Vegeta.
Christopher Sabat, yeah.
Christopher
Sabat does.
He's also in Black
several voices,
by the way. So
he's several voices. So if you guys haven't seen it, I'm waiting on Eric to go see it so we can just do a video on it. Because
I don't even know, like, none of the theaters close by me is playing it. So
really,
my brother went and saw it somewhere, but I have to figure out where he went. Honestly.
I think he went to cinemas, Eric. I think that's where he went.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's where he watched movies.
Well, they are 10 and young.
They are. Well, I mean, has everybody seen the promotional material? Because it was like they're not. It's not a spoiler. They're not kids anymore.
Right.
But the joke about it is hilarious. Because think about it this way: how it was so random how Gohan went from a kid to a teenager to a high schooler, and we didn't see none of that progression.
No.
It's like I don't know what you would call it. It's like they break the fourth wall with a lot of their jokes, because when you hear it, it just hits you in the face, and you're like, I've been wondering this for a while, and I'm glad they acknowledge it.
I think my first I kind of laughed with when they do the peace sign, if they're trying to say that they're the ones that changed the tournament draws, where Tian's pal, I forget his name, Chatsu. Yeah, he did the whole to make people don't go into the section to fight each other and whatnot. Yeah. And he's like, wow, that is so random that we don't get to fight each other, and he's just out in the corner going, peace.
Laura, I have not watched House of Dragon. I plan on it though, because I'm hearing really good things, and it got picked up for a second season. I just hope Zaslav doesn't axe it before they actually film it.
And I just saw Lord of the Rings, the Power of the Rings, and it actually looks like a pretty good show.
Yeah.
All this stuff that people are saying is going to be awful is doing really well. So those channels are going to have to change their style, because people are loving everything.
No, did you say? Have you seen what their new style is?
What is it now?
So how's the black dude in House of the Dragon?
Oh, who isn't even they were mad. Oh, he can't be a Targaryen because Targaryens are all white with
exactly
blonde, white hair, and then he's not Targaryen. So it's like you were arguing about something and you didn't even wait for the show to tell you the whole story. It's
even he said, you guys can accept dragons flying around, people doing magic, yada yada yada. But as soon as you see a black guy with white hair, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
But
argument
he,
was dumb anyway, but it wasn't even against canon because they just didn't wait for the second episode to come out. It's so stupid.
Well, yeah, no, because in the book it's based on, they never describe the skin color of the character. They just say he has white locks or something like that.
Okay.
But instead of putting him in the thumbnail to go, ooh, black guy, they've now made it Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
My thoughts on the GT one right here. I think Super Saiyan 4 transformation is the only thing that's good about that show.
I agree. Eric, did you like GT? Did you watch it?
Not all of it. I mean, I watched a lot of it. The problem was, yeah. I mean, I started with it. It was so rough. The first couple of seasons of it were like, oh.
I hated that they reverted him to a kid. I'm like, that's so.
It was like reliving the first season over again, but not as interesting. And that was kind of the problem I had with it.
Oh, mate, why is anyone helping this dude? There's an old dude walking across the street, snail's pace, and it's the light's gone green. Everyone's just looking at him. I feel so bad for him. I feel fucking people these days, like they're just letting him walk as slow as possible with all this heavy stuff.
I did, however, laugh at the joke about the wife, Chi-Chi, and her being upset that he's going to be in his prime and she's going to look like an old bag.
Oh yeah. Let's see, what else have you guys said? Eric, they want embarrassing stories of you and Cyber.
I mean, I don't know what would be. We're kids. Everything kids do is embarrassing. I don't really know what
I know there's one story where they played Limp Bizkit.
Break stuff.
Did you guys ever fist fight as kids? Like, who won the fights?
No, not really.
Really?
Yeah, not really. I was 5 years older than him, so like I moved out when I was 18. So he was barely a teenager when I moved out of the house. So
did he cry?
No, I don't think so. Probably not.
I didn't do anything embarrassing, but I did stupid stuff.
Eric, I'm driving past a Pizza Hut. Want anything?
Oh yeah, I want a deep dish.
Don't do that here.
Oh, well, never mind then.
You guys don't have deep dish?
I don't think so. We have something called deep pan.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah,
that's not the same thing.
No, deep dish is like really yummy.
It is. It's all this cheese with the sauce on top of it.
Yep.
Really love it. Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
It's like the ice cream with the fat boy ice cream. It's the fat boy pizza.
Oh, Kazi has a good comment. All of your thoughts on John Campea. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but basically,
you could say whacking off. Just don't say the obvious one there. So.
All of your thoughts on John Campea whacking off to every decision that David Zaslav makes. It's not surprising. Campea.
You know what? I'm going to say this. This is my universal response to this moving forward. Just wait. He is going to cut something that they love, and then all of them will change their tune. So just wait for it. Because the minute he comes out and is like, I'm not doing Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're never hiring Henry Cavill back. Wait for that one. Wait for him to say we're never hiring Henry Cavill, and that entire community will explode.
Yep.
Just wait.
That's what I'll say.
He's going to, he has like the power to not move forward on a lot of projects.
Could you imagine if David Zaslav came out today and was like, oh yeah, Henry Cavill's not in the cards? That entire group would literally implode on itself.
Yep. And I'm sorry, but I would literally upload a 5-minute video of me laughing and title it, Here You Go, Snyder Cultist.
And I'll guest star laughing.
Because they get on my nerves.
I made a tweet today where I talked about it in detail. Like they just keep defending this guy. And I don't know if you saw the news or not, but Legendary has left Warner Brothers. Those are the people that make Dune and the Godzilla franchise. They left Warner Brothers. Yeah. You're still going to defend Warner Brothers after Legendary has left them? That's one of their biggest studios.
I mean, once you F people up, they don't want to work with you. I've said this on Twitter.
And people are gonna say, "Oh, they didn't need it. They Warner Brothers didn't need.
They don't
them."
need Dune. Come on, like, really?
You know they're gonna say it.
Godzilla was one of the big movies they were waiting for when the pandemic was going on to bring people to HBO Max.
But I mean, I seen this coming. I seen this coming a mile away because aren't they doing a Godzilla like prequel or something on Apple TV?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, but Godzilla, I'm pretty sure, is a public property because of how old it is.
yeah, maybe. But Legendary is the company that's doing the biggest things with Godzilla right now.
Yeah,
I don't think that David Zaslav is going to pay for a Godzilla movie through another studio. I don't think that's going to happen.
Nah. Hello, dickhead. Move. What are you doing?
Not only that, but behind the scenes, they said the people that work at Warner Brothers said that Zack Snyder's Justice League is the biggest mistake they've made because it divided the fans. Like,
oh yeah, water's wet, DJ Eric. Like,
yeah, I had a video scheduled to go out. It's probably up now.
oh,
Yes, sir.
oh, by the way,
Scooby Doo is like a big project.
this is a message for Eric.
With Scoob.
Watch out for your video uploads because I scheduled my video this morning. I know I scheduled it. Came on, wasn't uploaded, and it just sort of like reverted back a step where I had to like public unlisted schedule.
Oh shit! Okay, let me go look right now.
So make sure you look because mine didn't go public. Lucky I started like 40 minutes after it was meant to go up, so it's not like I got to midday.
Yeah, I made mine like right before we started this to get it going, and then I scheduled it. Is it working? Is it working? Okay, all right.
Yep.
Oh my god, this fucking idiot! Speeding in a roundabout.
I was gonna cover that, but I'm so tired of all the CW drama.
The only thing about that article that sounds promising is that they said again that they're still committed to like the genre shows. So that sounds to me like that some of them may be safe, but we might not see anything new. Is the problem?
It's gonna be. Well, I think it's like we're gonna still do it, but get ready for it to all be cheap. Like,
yeah.
Sounds
like Gotham Knights.
Yeah. Andy.
Anything like a kung fu. I don't know how much kung fu.
Hey, kung fu is great though.
Yeah, kung fu.
I'm not saying
great.
it's bad or not. I'm just saying that it doesn't look like it's try to make.
Hey, kung fu is killing. Like I
really
the
like
entire second season, and like it started off slow for me, which is why I waited. But once I finished it, I'm like, oh, I need season 3 ASAP. Like,
I need season 3 and 4.
Andy says Campy is the same drama queen who quit Superman and Lois because Diggle showed up in season 1 because he hates the Arrowverse. Hey, that's true though. He was really upset. Like,
yeah, but I don't know if it was legitimate sadness or I'm gonna be triggered for the sake of a video sort of sadness. It could have been that. Who knows? He could still be watching it in private.
That's true, but I mean, when like people like Campia, like you purposely got on and you did a whole live stream where you titled it "Flash is canceled," and then you clipped the part of the video to make a separate video just for that, and you still said the Flash is canceled, and you know it wasn't canceled. Like, I can't respect you. Like,
Campy a YouTuber?
He used to be somebody that worked for, I think it was AMC. I think it was AMC.
Yeah, it was AMC.
He worked for AMC and did all of their like social media stuff where he made all the videos interviewing people and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. And then he left them and started his own podcast, and that's pretty much what he does now. He's a podcaster.
I mean, I only watch DJ Eric and Paging and Lance. So.
Those are the only channels you should be watching.
Because they're the only ones that actually give facts.
Well, that's news to me. The only channel I watch is the DC TV show. So,
I mean, I watch him for laughs, you know.
The only channel I watch anymore is the one everybody should be watching, and that's Mecha Random. That's the only channel anybody should be watching. So.
You know, I've started tuning in to Geeks and Gamers. You know,
do not be. Are you joking?
Yes, I'm joking. I'm joking. I will never watch Geeks and Gamers.
Wait, joking? I don't even know what I'm joking right now. DJ Eric, but you look a lot like Tim Allen in that profile picture.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, specifically from the Santa Claus franchise.
Are you gonna watch that? Because you know that has a lot of controversy too for the new show because Santa's not gonna be white now because Tim Allen's looking for his replacement and it's supposed to be I cannot think of the dude's name. But
isn't he like half black, half Asian or something?
yeah,
But,
yeah.
So let me just say that this is like I need to start a whole series on this kind of stuff. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do
Wait,
a hot
ooh,
take
can we call it-
podcast. on this.
I know what to call it.
What's that?
Willy woke.
Let me
Willy
just
woke
I'm going to
and-
put this out there, and I'm going to say this anytime somebody is upset about a character changing race or whatever. If Santa Claus were recast in a movie and he were like blue or green, no one would say anything. But
Nothing
if he's
at all.
Asian
Well, I think
or black,
people would be
all of a
very
sudden everybody's
curious.
got an issue with it.
Well, technically, Santa was green.
Yes, and
I
yellow
think they had a problem with
and
it more.
orange.
That's true.
Wait, well, when was he blue? Was
No, I was just using that. I don't think he's ever been blue. I'm saying they could make him blue. And people wouldn't
oh,
complain
okay. Well,
about
what
it.
about Papa Smurf? He might have been. Speaking of Papa Smurf, that's what. Eric
Well,
was
see, the
saying
difference is the Smurfs their color is unique to them as individuals. I don't think Santa Claus color is necessarily.
Well, are there
important,
like
so-
grey Smurfs?
Isn't Grandpa Smurf kind of like Santa Claus?
Yeah,
Is
he
it
is a
Papa
little bit.
Smurf?
There is Jack Frost. I think Jack Frost was blue.
Variety
No, I think
just
Jack
dropped
Frost
some
was
drama.
nicer.
What's Variety said?
Warner Brothers reportedly regrets releasing the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
No, everyone laughed.
That's what I said earlier. They were saying like inside they were saying that that they think it divided the fandom. Oh no, we got video.
We got video, and we're black.
Now it's gone.
Video.
Is he gonna show a huntsman spider? Get ready.
That is hilarious.
Oh!
That is hilarious. Like you regret it now. You did this. Like you and I get having a favorite director. I get that, but
Do you like? This is winter, by the way.
oh, that just
It's
made me
still summer
jealous.
here.
That looks like dash cam footage.
Yeah, because I'm a car.
Is this one of those? Is this one of those like Karen videos where somebody's gonna
You
start
weren't lying
fighting and
about
it gets
the
put up
Jeep.
on TikTok?
No, there's not many Karen things. Oh shit! I can hear someone behind me now. No, it's all good.
So who wants to be on the Big L? Who wants to be on that show?
If I had a mount, I would literally put you right there, and I'd go driving. I'd drive down to the beach or
Pagey,
something.
so apparently
Oh, what are your
there's
thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on that?
That doesn't look like you.
It's not meant to be anything.
apparently
Prison-
there's a
it's prison
big
Mike.
market on YouTube for people that drive around cities and just upload those videos for like an hour,
Really?
so people can watch what the city looks like. Yeah.
I just started streaming games, so yeah.
let me do that. And, yeah, I'll do that. You just gave me an idea, Eric.
No, it's true. Like, honestly, look it up on YouTube. Look up any city. It doesn't matter what it is, like Baltimore or Chicago, and put in driving, right? There's probably hundreds of videos that have been monetized and have like hundreds of thousands of millions of views of people just driving around their city. People want that kind of content. Like, if you want to make a second channel doing that, it's an easy way to make money straight up.
Wow.
Oh, there is a dog. I thought I heard a dog.
Am I kidding, Lance? Did you just look it up?
Wow. Somebody uploaded one. Detroit's most ghetto streets.
Ooh, I bet you that's got like what 1 million views.
Yep. 5.2 million.
Yep.
Can we actually? You know what we could get? Well, that I would like to request. Could we get an Eric driving vlog, maybe in that style? Maybe two cameras, one facing out, one facing towards you.
Well,
On
my
your way-
phone can do that. My phone can do facing me and facing out at the same time.
Peter
Flexing,
kind
like,
of
not-
suggested
not-
it too.
But could you do
Flash
it?
car view.
Could you do it driving to Rudders for a taste test? That would be like the most like Inception level meme for the after party.
Oh yeah, it would 100%.
Oh, by the
freaking
way, Lance got a tease of it. I sent him a picture of it. I have a video prepared for the after party 250th special. It may be sexual. I'm joking. It's not. I've tested
The
it for
picture-
copyright as well.
The
Because I know as
picture,
soon as I start playing it, Eric's gonna get nervous. I tested it for copyright. Came back clean. So we're all green to go ahead with it.
the
Okay.
picture he sent me is hilarious.
Yeah, I think Canada Grass might be triggered by it. Though.
So
Like,
what
if you had
we're
10
gonna do
bucks
though is that we will because I don't want to have like 20 people on stream at the same time. We're gonna have to rotate people in and out. So for Saturday,
I can guest star if you want.
If you're in the chat, just let me know, and like I'll rotate people in and out. But yeah, I can't have everybody on at the same time because even with like 5 people, it becomes chaos.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, but Eric and Paigey, 3 dubs. This was and I'm not even kidding. He told me earlier this week when we were planning the stream, like you guys just literally made his day. Like this is the one thing that he always wanted to do, just like stream with you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was on my bucket list. I literally had
It's happened. It's happened.
Yeah, it was like DJ Eric, and then Paige just pops up. I was like, "Well, there goes my bucket list. Got to do something else."
and like he does, he's been doing like all of my graphics and intros. I'm like, yeah, his stuff is great. Like he's
Wait,
really
do you have an intro for your show here? I missed it if you did.
Yeah, let me see.
It's him strip tasing, I think.
Oh, wow.
Well, I have 2, but he just made the newest one. Let me see.
What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drums Nation.
So that's really good, but the funny thing was Paige's face with Geeks and Gamers under it was
Bit of a buzz. By the way, Eric, on a scale of 1 to 10, how jealous are you?
Like 20.
What do they taste like?
Minties?
Yeah, the clue may be in the name.
I didn't see that. Oh, but hey, Paige, can you send me some? You always send Eric stuff. You never send me stuff.
Wow.
I'm a little jelly.
You're jelly.
Yes.
You're jelly.
Yep. I'm peanut butter and jealous.
I even put if you see in the trailer that of the intro, Lance is eating something and have snacks and treats.
Oh, that's cool. That's like Inception level. That's like being inside the Matrix while being.
And he's gone. Inside the Matrix, and boom.
Yes, I did, Kitty. That was me. Playing drums is my day job. Well, my day job is I'm a truck driver, but that's my other day job. Yeah.
Cruising some stuff.
I'm trying to wait for see if Eric's gonna pop back in because I'm about to end the stream. But
oh my god.
his computer just crashed again.
If you want an Australian taste test, you can go to downunderbox.com. I think it's just .com. Or is it .au? Try it. It's one of the two. And you can experience what Eric swallowed.
I just noticed something. What are our names visible? Because I'm looking at some notes. Oh, it's probably because of the text thing.
Wario dies in a car accident. That's pretty grim.
Yeah, I know, right? But what are you? Any
Was
last
Princess still?
predictions?
Oh, I was just wondering why our names visible.
I don't know. How do I?
Because
I
the
don't know
comments up. The comments up.
But when I pull them down, our names aren't visible.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I know you stuffed it.
How do I fix that? I don't know.
Right next to Leaf Studios is having issues.
Eric went to Bizarro World. But what are your last minute predictions for Stargirl? I know Paige said he wants to see Jay Garrick in full drag.
No, I just want him naked. I don't want him naked. Shakes and all.
Oh wow!
I literally do not think the death of my predictions for Stargirl. I can't exactly because I love all the characters, so I'm kind of like don't want them all to die. So. I mean,
I don't want to see anybody die.
Yeah, it's either if I had to pick someone to die, it would either be Black Bolt's lackey or Wildcat. That would mostly be the one that hurts Courtney the most. Well, Wildcat in particular. But I
I
don't
hope
see
he
it
doesn't.
happening.
But guys, we have been streaming for about 2 hours
It was
now.
a special
So
video. We had Paigey, we
um,
had DJ Eric.
yep. I want to thank Paige and DJ Eric. Eric actually went to Earth 2.
Earth
He just
69.
messaged me on Twitter. He's having computer issues. He's getting that fixed so it can be ready for the after party on Saturday. But I'll be
Keita said
back live.
to Earth 69.
Nah, he said Earth 2.
Oh.
Eric said he's on Earth 2, so that works. But we'll be back live next Monday. Maybe Paige and Eric will join me again, but 3 Dubs will be here, and we can talk about Stargirl again. I know we're going to talk about it Saturday, but I'm gonna do a rewatch. I'm going to have my She-Hulk review up on Friday again, or I might actually just combine it in here. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, that's it. I will see you guys later. Thank you again, 3 Dubs.
All right. Yep. Later.
All right, check you guys later.